Hello, welcome to Gen Z Finance. I am documenting my financial journey here on YouTube and over on my Instagram at Zennial Finance. So please make sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and go follow me over there for more personal finance content. So today we are budgeting out my last paycheck of December. And honestly, I try to have a lot of my budgets with me already planned out. I spend a lot of time planning some of this stuff out, but when it comes to the end of the year, there's a lot of decisions that need to be made with my budget, and I just procrastinate on making them. So half of this video, we're going to be budgeting out my paycheck. It's also an extra paycheck because I'm paid bi-weekly, and this is like a third paycheck month for me. And then the other half, we're kind of going to be going over all of the extra money I have at the end of the year and trying to figure out what I want to do with that. I don't promise I will have any concrete decision for you at the end of this video. And I will also probably be doing a follow-up video pretty shortly, just closing out all of December's spending then as well. So this might be kind of like a two-parter, some of this, but I wanted to kind of show you what actually goes on at the end of the year, because at the end of every single month in ynab, you have the option to roll money over into that category or move it to another category or save it for something special. But especially at the end of the year, at least for me, it marks the end of a lot of my financial goals. And so I can kind of look at all of the money that is available to me and decide if I want to move it to something else. So that's what we're going to do in this video. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and enter in my paycheck. It is currently pending in my account, and it is pretty large for me. It is $1,908.40. And that is because I've already maxed out my 401k for the year, so there is no 401k money coming out. And then I also don't have to pay any medical insurance or medical premiums with this paycheck, so that's why it's especially large. Not only do I get an extra paycheck, but I kind of get an even larger extra paycheck, so this is all a bonus. And then that $14 was just interest that was earned on my M1 spend account. So most of the stuff is taken care of in December and even into January. You can see I've already taken care of all of this. I think the only thing I'm going to do is put in $150 to my travel and trips fund, and I'm going to restart this up. I used to do $150 a month for this, and I stopped that in September or October of 2021 because I already had a lot of money in there, but I'm going to restart it up in 2022. So that's, I think, the only thing I needed to do in January. So we can move back to December. The next thing I want to do is if I actually come to my reports and my income versus expense reports, you can see this here. If we look at my brokerage line item, you can see so far for the year I've put in $6,180 into my brokerage, and that's just a little bit too uneven for me. So I want to get this up to an even $6,500. So to do that, I'm going to budget another, I believe that would be $320. Yes, and so I will go ahead and make that deposit today, even though I probably won't be able to invest it, actually purchase some securities this year. I will be able to contribute into my brokerage this year, which is kind of how I determine, when the money was invested, whenever I contributed the money. The next thing, again, also looking at these reports and looking at the total for the year, you can see in crypto, I have invested $475 in crypto so far, which is good. I really didn't have any plans to really invest a certain amount into crypto, but I'm just going to get this up to $600. So again, coming to my FIRE section here, we'll do another $125 there for that. All right, now we're going to go down to my savings, and I'm going to do another $500 to my move out fund. This is one of my big sinking funds that I am working on. So currently my plan is not to move out in 2023. I talked about this in my 2022 financial goal video, but an opportunity comes up in 2022 to potentially move out. I want to have money set aside to do that. So I'm going to put $500 there, and I'm probably going to put a bit more extra money in there as well. Originally, my goal was $5,000, and this is definitely going to increase. I'm going to put as much as I can into this, and leftover could maybe be used to start saving for down payment on a house or something else. That's kind of what I'm thinking right now with this move out fund. Okay, so I have $827.46 left, and that is just with this paycheck, but I also have a bunch of other extra money coming around. So I usually save this for my monthly budget closeout wrap-up videos and stuff, moving this extra money, but I'm going to start doing it a little bit extra. So you can see I still have $98.60 in my monthly varied living, and I will not be spending anything in the next day and a half on any of these items. So I'm going to move all of this money to ready to assign. Next, into me, myself, and I will cover this overspending with the dining out money first. And then I'm going to take the 4601 and move it to ready to assign as well. Okay, next thing, I'm going to leave $20 in here, so I'll move the 694. So I'll move the 694 to ready to assign. And then I'm going to leave the $200 in clothing because that's kind of going to be a sinking fund and roll over to the new year. Okay, now we have giving. So I talked about this over on my Instagram. Again, that's at Xennial Finance. So go follow me over there. But as you can see, I have $436.25 left in gifts for the year, and that is not going to roll over. So I gave myself a budget of $1,200 for the year in gifts, which worked out to be $100 every month. Now that Christmas is officially over, there's no more birthdays. So $436 is what I kind of had in excess between all of the gifts that I gave. I know I want to do at least $125 to donations. And the rest of it, I'm not sure. I know I don't want it rolling over into gifts for 2022. So I'm going to move the rest of it up to ready to assign. And who knows, I might put more into donations later. We're going to do that. The rest of this money is going to roll over. We've already covered my fire category, at least for now. And then for some of my other sinking funds. So I'm going to leave car ownership and electronics. I'm going to leave that money in there. So dental and vision, I had like $700 in here at the beginning of the year, and I've just been kind of using this to pay for dental and vision stuff. But in 2022, I have $300 in a limited purpose FSA. So I don't need all of this money in dental and vision. Let's move 203 up to ready to assign. So that will leave me with $400 here. And then, like I said, another $300 coming out of my paychecks in 2022 for $700 total. So that should be good. And now we move to my savings. Oh Lord. Okay, so I have like $1,500 here. Currently it's showing my general emergency fund here is not fully funded. You can see I want $3,000 in here. But the reason is I moved $2,000 of it out of cash and into bonds. So that's what you can see over here, Treasury Direct $2,000. My emergency fund is technically fully funded. It's just not in cash like in a savings account. So now we're going to get to my total out-of-pocket max medical category. If you've been a long-time viewer of my channel, you might have seen this before. At the beginning of 2021, I had $4,500 in this category, which is my total max out-of-pocket that I would have to pay in case of like the worst happened. So I like to have that amount saved at the beginning of each year so that I don't have to worry about it. It's like, okay, I already have that money saved. And yes, I do have an HSA, but I currently use my HSA as primarily an investment vehicle. So you can see I have $6,600 in my HSA that is invested. And I would prefer not to cash in those investments and use my HSA to pay for medical expenses. As of right now, I would like to cash flow my medical expenses while I'm still young. Because medical expenses are only going to increase. If I can afford to cash flow them, then that's what I prefer to do. So that's why I have this category. Again, if you've been a long-time viewer of my channel, you know I have this next year deductible category. I've been putting $200 into this category every single month for 2021, which means that's why we have $2,400 in here. And so this is kind of like used to replenish my out-of-pocket max. So in 2021, whatever medical spending I had, I tracked that as an expense in this medical line item, and then I moved that money from my out-of-pocket max to this medical category. So you can see I need $658.06 to get this back up to the full $4,500, which is my 2022 out-of-pocket max as well. So where are we going to take that money? We're going to take it from this next year deductible fund. Like I said, I've been putting $200 to the next year deductible. During 2021 was for 2022. I really hope this makes sense. It makes sense in my brain. I'm probably doing it like the most complicated way possible, but it makes sense in my brain. So I hope I'm trying to explain it as best as I can. So that money is going to come from my next year deductible category. So we are going to move $658.06 from next year deductible to out of pocket max. So now this category is fully funded, $4,500, and this is showing underfunded. I'm just gonna delete it for 21. Okay, so that leaves me $1,700 in here. So now, starting January of 2022, I'm going to save for 2023's medical deductible. So I think I'm gonna be doing $150 instead of $200. Monthly savings builder, save. And this is going to start in January of 2022. So I don't necessarily need the $1,700 in here. So I know I want to leave at least $750 in here to roll over into 2022. And that means I can save a little bit less in 2022 each month since I already have a bit of a buffer already started in there. So we're going to leave $750 in there, and everything else we're going to move to ready to assign. So that means I need to move like $990. We'll start with that. I can't do the math off the top of my head. So that's 751. Okay, or minus 194. Okay, I was pretty close. So now we have $750 in my next year deductible fund, and this will be for now, and maybe this will help 2023 in 2022, I will be putting right now $150. I might adjust that down because, like I said, I have $750 already in there. So I want to kind of have around, $2,400 again at the end of 2022 to replenish whatever I'm taking out of my out-of-pocket max. Now, if I fully spent my out-of-pocket max, like if I fully spent my $4,500, obviously the $2,400 I had in the next year deductible wouldn't be enough to fully refund my out-of-pocket max, but it would be enough to cover my deductible for my high deductible health plan, plus a little bit extra as well. So that's the goal of it. And this is just what I have to do to feel comfortable, even though I don't have a lot of health issues or anything like that. Like, this is just how my brain has to work for me to feel comfortable with my health insurance. So this is what I do. I'm not saying you should do this. It's honestly probably a waste of a lot of cash that I'm saving every year, but this is what I do. And then finally, I have $66.94 from my holding category that I will move up to ready to assign. And that just came from every time I get paid, whatever leftover money I have, $1.50 here, $10 there, whatever. A lot of my interest from my checking and savings account, I will also put into this holding category. And then at the end of every quarter, that's why it's holding/EOQ, end of quarter bonus, I zero this out and put it back to ready to assign to try to give it a more specific job. And then so for the rest of this money is all going to roll over. I have my subscriptions, and then like my Wish Farm, which I guess I can open. So this full length mirror, I'm going to delete because I actually got it for Christmas, so I don't need that. As you can see, I have $2,500 that I have pulled from my budget in December that I can kind of reallocate to certain goals. Let's start with the things that I really want to get money into, which would be my move out fund. We kind of already talked about. I've already put $500 in. Let's get this up to 4,000, so that would be 950. So just by doing that, I'm at $4,000, which is only $1,000 shy of my $5,000 goal. And then 2022, I want to put at least like $200 a month into this move out fund. So if I don't even put anything else, the $200 a month into that category, 4,000 plus 2,400 would get us to $6,400, just like that. And I probably will be putting some more money into this category. So that's where that stands. I know what I need to do. I need to create a new category. Actually, I might just create a new category group. Okay, I'm gonna try this and then we'll see if I like it. Okay, I called the master group Immortality Becomes You, and I actually used this once before for a category, but then I didn't end up actually like using that category at all, so I kind of retired it, and now I'm gonna bring it back. And this is going to be, I'm gonna try to put all of my medical spending in here. So we're gonna move up prescriptions, and we will move up medical, and then dental and vision as well. I'm going to add therapy because, and I've talked about this over on my Instagram as well, I have finally managed to find some type of therapy, at least for now. I'm going to start that in January. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully I connect with I think I'm seeing like a counselor intern or something. Okay, we'll do the brain emoji. And sessions are $55, and I don't know how many I'm going to have in January. Like I said, currently I only have one scheduled. Let's just do 4 sessions, so 55 times 4 will be 220. So I have 220 in this therapy section. Now, ideally, I could use the money in my out-of-pocket max to pay for my therapy, but unfortunately, the person I'm seeing is out of network. They are not covered by my insurance, just because I have called like 10 or 12 different psychologist's office and doctors, and no one with my insurance can see me. And so this was like the cheapest kind of alternative I could find, $55 a session. But since it is not in network, it wouldn't work towards my out-of-pocket max. So that's why I'm saving for it separately. So Immortality Becomes You, which is a quote from Twilight, BTW, if you're confused. So, and all of this is focused on my health and wellness. So that's why I thought of doing that. We'll see how I like this. I might move some of these categories back. This would impact my reporting. So now I could see exactly how much I spent in total on medical associated things, but I might change that back. Who knows? I'm going to play with this. Let me know down below what you think. Do you like having a separate category for that, or would you just have these in your normal or your other groups? Now that that is created, I put 220 there. I still have $1,300. I mean, let me go to my reports and see. I've more than hit my investing goal for the year. So 6,000 in my Roth IRA. I'll have 6,500 in my brokerage, 600 in my crypto account. So, I mean, that alone will bring me to like 13,000 if I don't include the bonds that I've invested from my net income and doesn't include like my 401k, my HSA, and everything like that, which is also maxed out. So I don't know if I necessarily need to put more money into, my investing this year. Maybe I can put more into like my Roth IRA for 2022. I already have $1,000 in there, but I could, put a little bit more in there to just help reach that goal a little bit faster. Let's increase this by another 75. So that gives us 200 in donations. Clothing, we can do another like 100 to clothing. So I'll have $300 going into 2020. Let's look at my Wish Farm. My laser hair removal, I haven't even done more research on that. I already have $600 there. I have $300 for Taylor Swift concert tickets, which probably would not be enough, but also she has yet to announce anything at all. So I don't know if I want to put more money into that so we can hide my Wish Farm. I mean, should I just put another $1,000 into my move out fund? Is that too much? I don't know. See, and this is what I told you where, first of all, this video is so long. And second of all, I told you I would just kind of be rambling and trying to figure out what I want to do. And I usually cut a lot of this out. So hopefully I have edited a lot of my rambling out. Do 500 there. Okay, that still leaves me 708. You know what? I'm not going to sweat about it right now. I'm just going to put the 708 back into holding. Normally, I like to get to holding completely to zero at the end of every quarter, especially every year, but I just don't know what else I want to do with that money, and I'd rather just kind of put it into this holding category and then decide what I want to do with it instead of like just putting it into all these other categories and then having to like take that money back out and trying to find what I did with it. So hopefully maybe within the next couple days, maybe within the next couple weeks, I have a better plan for what I want to do with some of that extra money and I can come back and share with y'all what that is. Anyway, so that's going to be it for this video. I'm sorry it was so long and rambling, but I wanted to give y'all an accurate look into how I actually work through a lot of these things. And now with that, like you can see, all of January is done except for these 3 savings goals. I like to save for these categories the month I get paid. I don't like to fund these 1 month ahead. Everything else is funded 1 month ahead except for my next year deductible, car replacement, and then the move out fund. So thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope y'all are staying safe and healthy and that you have a good day.